Hello, everybody there? Get anybody there? Can anybody hear me? I don't know if I'm actually making noise or not. Hello, William. Can you hear me okay? I'm not sure if the audio is actually working. Okay, cool. Thank you. Hello, Al's Robo Shack. I don't typically put bulk cards in sleeves. I usually keep them in boxes like this. Fix the focus. These are ones that I'm sorting and whatnot, but I don't usually, once they're listed, I don't keep them in sleeves. I do keep all foils in sleeves just to keep them from getting the surfaces scratched because they're really easy to scratch. Fifth edition boomerang. Hoping we get a decent sized amount of a group of people in here, and then I can open some product I picked up just to open for you guys. Hey, Couch Candy. Text and pics are backwards. Oh, they look forwards on my screen. Thank you for letting me know. See if that's something I can fix. Yeah, I see you, RS nerd. It just showed up. There, did that fix the video, guys? It looks the same for me, but I unticked the box. No, it's the same. Okay. So it's obviously it's my first stream. It's a learning experience for me too. So hopefully I'll get that figured out for next time. 29 orders on eBay. That's a lot. Sounds like, Jameson. That's awesome. Al, I've been selling on TCG Player in this form since June of 2020. Thanks, Couch Candy. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Whatnot. It's just something a little bit too much for me to try and manage for what I'm trying to do. So I fully commend anybody who's able to handle working on what's not. So yeah, so my current backstock, do you mean what I have currently listed? It's at I've got about just under 150,000 currently listed in inventory, and another oh 300,000 or 400,000 still to sort and dig through. Hi, Steven. Thank you for letting me. Thanks for thinking I'm awesome. Uh, right now, this is a recent bulk buy. I picked up about 100,000 Magic cards off somebody locally here in the Middle Tennessee area. I'm just doing my first pass through it, pulling out all the stuff that I want to keep. I've got, we'll see, vintage stuff here, which I pretty much just stick all back and go through for funsies on like a Sunday afternoon. And then the early modern stuff is still nostalgic for me up through like the Time Spiral block. So I kind of keep all that too. And then this pile is just any type of unique card frame, or just a bunch of the M21 stuff, unset stuff. There's a bunch of that right there. Just all the different things that they've started to do jumpstart cards, some random foils that were mixed in, the storybook cards. Right now I'm doing this pretty much full time. I'm doing a whole bunch of things in addition to this, but it's still, all those things together become full time. Honestly, when I bought these, he felt like I wouldn't want them because of the vintage cards, Jameson. So he was just ecstatic that I was willing to give him the regular bulk price for all the vintage stuff too. Vintage meaning old card frame, everything before 8th edition. So up through 2000, that's 2003. There might be a 7th edition one in here with a date on it. Yeah, 2001 for 7th edition, but that's 2003. So 2003 is, I think, the latest. And then the early modern is just up through the end of the Time Spiral block. So 8th and 9th edition and Time Spiral and Ravnica, Mirrodin, Kamigawa. Yeah, I started playing back in like Tempest and then got out of it around this time period, right after they changed the card frame, and then got back in at Magic Origins. Yeah, I wouldn't trust the TCG player scan. If you're not sure, it's probably revised. But there are definitely some good guides online on how to tell if you've got the card in hand. The easiest way for me to tell for unlimited versus revised is that the borders are usually doubled around the edge. Let me see if I can find a revised card real quick. I don't have any unlimited in my hand. Yeah, here's a revised Herloon Minotaur. I know it's backwards for you guys, but still. The unlimited one, the border right around the edge, the black border is like doubled. It'll be a double line. And the colors are a little poppier usually. And a lot of the wording will be a little bit different in the text box. This is all super modern. this box had been, or this collection had been really exciting before, but this kind of got a little less interesting right here in this particular part of the box. I did find, last box I went through, I did find this stack of cards. These are all like $1 to $10 reserve list cards. So this was a pretty good bulk buy. The most expensive card I found in bulk, I found in Pokemon bulk, I found like base set Bulbasaur or base set Venusaurs. Not in first edition, but still. The reserve list, Jameson. So what the reserve list is way back in Magic's infancy, they started overprinting things after the game took off in popularity and reprinting some things. And they came out with a reprint set that was all a whole bunch of reprints of expensive cards from earlier sets. And so they made like a promise to the collectors that they would, make a list of cards that they would never reprint. And that's the reserve list. And so anything that's on that reserve list is never going to be reprinted again. And as a result, a lot of those cards are really expensive. A lot of them aren't. A lot of these are, $1, $2, $3, $4 cards. But a lot of them are very expensive cards just because they're never going to go up in they're never going to go up in supply, right? And typically as the game grows, demand is going to continue to grow, so more people will want them. There's never going to be more of them. If anything, there'll be less of them, so they go up in value. No, I don't think Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh have a similar reprint, never reprint list, reserve list, or anything like that. There are some versions of it for some of the newer games like Flesh and Blood and MetaZoo, but not for Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, in bulk, I found like a base set Venusaur foil. I found one that had like 15 Leviathans from the Dark that were like $15 a piece. So that was pretty neat. That kind of stuff is pretty rare. What's usually exciting for me is finding a big pile of $2 to $5 uncommons, like finding a whole bunch of slivers from Time Spiral or something like that. They're commons or uncommons, and so people don't think about them. They didn't think about them at the time, but that kind of thing. Big bend on the top of that one. I don't have very much Yu-Gi-Oh bulk at all right now. Like maybe 2,500, 3,000 cards. I've only picked up a little bit here and there as part of other big collections. I have played Magic, like I said, since a long time ago. I've got 2 kids, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. I'm reasonably sure I'm going to be starting to play Pokemon really soon. I've played it a couple of times a long time ago, but not actively played it. I used to play a whole lot of the Star Wars CCG and the Lord of the Rings CCG back in the day. What do I do with my damaged cards? Yeah, I don't like to sell like singles of cards below near mint. I've said that several times. So what I do with them is I stick them back, and I've got somebody who, for at least for Magic, likes to buy my light play bulk, and he buys it at basically the same rate that I pay for it, but I pay for shipping. So basically, it's not much less than cost for me, and I get it out of my space. You know, Chase Me More. I'm looking to get into Yu-Gi-Oh more because it's on the direct program now, so it's really easy for me to sell. I just list it and then ship it off with my direct invoices. But I've been kind of backed up on Flesh and Blood and Magic and some Pokemon as well. So I haven't been looking for much of anything right now. Yeah, Jason, it is a good deal for me. He gets a good deal of bulk for pretty cheap. He's paying like I don't know, like $6 or $7 a thousand for it, and I'm paying the shipping, so I end up netting like $4 or $5 a thousand. It doesn't cost much less than that. Sorry, it doesn't cost much more than that for me to pick it up, and I'm just sorting it out of the stuff I like to sell. Well, if I've got Yu-Gi-Oh bulk, you want to pick it up from me? If I get a bunch that I can't go through, I'll definitely keep you in mind. This is all newer stuff. So for Yu-Gi-Oh, for all the games I buy I keep a list on my website of posted prices and also of prices for a whole bunch of other games. And for Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Flesh and Blood, I try and keep an eye on the bulk prices for all those games from different websites, big websites, and have my prices match in those. And I post all that information on my website. I think right now I've got Yu-Gi-Oh at like $15 per thousand, because I think that's a pretty settled on price among the larger websites. MetaZoo, I have not seen anybody buying or selling MetaZoo bulk successfully. I've not seen any websites post prices for it. I've seen a little bit of it on eBay, but it's been like pretty high prices, $40, $50, $60 per thousand, which is way more than I want to pay for it. Hey Bronson, how you doing? But yeah, as I'm keeping an eye on MetaZoo. I'm just like Flesh and Blood. If it gets popular enough where there's a player's market that people are buying and selling bulk, then I will jump into that market. But until I see, significant amounts of commons moving on TCG Player, I'm probably not going to jump into it anytime soon. get through this box real quick, and we'll see if we can open some stuff up. God's Willing. It's a fun card. Yeah, no problem, RS Nerd. What made me start? It was kind of an experiment. So a couple years ago when I first started this, I was already buying collections and digging through them for buy lists to pull out cards to sell to buy lists. That old game. But I felt bad about all the cards that weren't buy listable. You know, I didn't feel like it was right to just dump that back on somebody else. And there was nobody talking about what to do with all that stuff. And I was looking around at prices, and I was, they were listed on TCG Player for people to buy. People could buy them. And I was having a hard time seeing how people would make money that way. But all these, people who were selling them, the 50,000 plus transactions or whatever, they're not out of business, obviously. They're making money. So I thought, if they can do it, I can figure it out. I'm a smart guy. If they can figure out how to not lose money doing it, then I can figure out how to not lose money doing it. It's just a matter of, a lot of it I figured was just a matter of scale. If you're selling 1,000 bulk cards, you're probably not going to do very well. But if you've got 1,000,000 bulk cards, you can get a lot of discounts for supplies and shipping and things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Chase Me More. That was the old game that I was playing. I even did like the buy list arbitrage thing for a while, where I would get a bunch of store credit off of a collection, trading in quarter cards and stuff. Get $100 at Card Kingdom, for instance, and then use that to buy an expensive card to ship off to ABU Games for $175 of credit there, and then use that to get 10 cards I could trade in back into Card Kingdom for $250 and stuff like. Yeah, it just got to be too much, and it was too dependent on them deciding to not be as good on condition as they ought to be. Yeah, the semi-rigids went up real quick to catch up with the top loaders, didn't they? Shipping shields are out of stock right now. I think they're going to be available in a couple of weeks. 2 streams running. I guess you are, Ace. How do I close one and not the other? It's crazy. On the other stream, I'm seeing them forward on the. That's so weird. Oh, that's bizarre. It's 2 streams running. One of them is correct and one of them is reverse. Yeah, this is my random crazy test stream, I guess. Everybody help me figure out how to stream so we can stream some more. Let me see if I can get this figured out. I'll start up a new one. Thanks, Jameson.